just gonna be a prep. So my friend recently built a ramp, and that's why I made this
Bring in the boss squad, I'm gonna get mine. Don't do the crime if you can't do the time. Don't tell me how you're off and down. When you smile in my face, but you play me like a clown. It's your fool, bitch. So just step back. I'm mad dad when I come down straight. I thought you were my beast, but you play me out. Now I'm mad as hell, and I'm full of doubt. Who you are, roll with? Who you are, roll with? Who you are, roll with? Let's dance, roll. Let's roll. Who you are, roll with? Who you are, roll with? Roll with. Who you are, roll with? Let's dance, roll. Let's roll. Back on the scene, it's time to get me. It's time to get me. Revolution machine, revolution machine. They stay, they stay. It's good Tuesday, it's good. City state, this slightly, this special system. Raise your fist and pump prices, promises, promises. So what's the line? Don't cross the line. But you know who you are, who you are, roll with. Who you are, roll with. Let's think, let's go, let's go. Who you are, roll with. Who you are, roll with. Let's think, let's go, let's go.
All right, happy Tuesday. Am I handing out a microphone?
Make chamber system so I can have my sign here that says the VA is full of BS.
Hey, it's Bongolio. See you later.
We're live.
All right, yes, we're live.
I don't see it.
You don't have a microphone on or headphones?
There we go.
Hold on. Stop sharing this now because we're done sharing. We're done with that part of the show.
Hello, am I
Hello,
being heard?
hello.
Is my voice being? It sounds like it. Yeah, okay, I can hear
Hello.
myself. Hello, everyone. How are we doing today? Welcome. Happy Tuesday. It is the week of 420 here, all over the world. But we're in New Jersey, so that's what I'm going to talk about. I hope everyone's having a good start to their 420 week. Hope everyone is getting set for big week action. We got a lot of stuff going on here in New Jersey as far as cannabis, the cannabis industry. I'll go on a couple events I know of that I'm going to be participating in. So on Thursday, I'll be going to NJ Unpacked. I kind of just spontaneously went to that. I want to go talk to some industry people, network a bit, maybe do some coverage or whatnot. And then Saturday, I will be, as I said, in Delran at the Castaway Cannabis Dispensary. The lovely people there. We're going to have a fun day, food truck, dancer, all sorts of stuff. Sunday, I will be at Puffin in New Brunswick hanging out with them. And then Tuesday, we have something awesome going on here at the Mad Hatter. Again, it is the garden party. The garden party at the Mad Hatter. We are going to have lots of cool stuff.
No, it's Earth Day. Earth Day.
Was it a
The garden party was the last one. That
Did
was
we call these things garden party?
no, well, it is a garden party, but yeah, it's Earth Day.
Yeah, the Earth Day.
Earth Day event.
Girth Day.
Earth Day, Girth Day.
The girth of the earth. So yeah, we're gonna have food trucks. We're gonna have dab bar.
Yeah.
We're gonna have vendors here. All sorts of stuff. We should talk to them about getting karaoke. I think that
Karaoke.
yeah, I think that why hasn't that been suggested here? Like, this is an enclosed area where we can be as loud as we want. Like, I'm pretty sure that was probably one of the designs. Sound suppression was one of the design properties of this originally.
Oh, cannabis karaoke sounds fun.
Because of all the fun they had in here, and they didn't want that to distract other people from, their at Wawa being like, why can't I go over there and have fun?
No.
Well, then you can't say I can't say that, and then say no to the lie. Then
People walk in here all the time. Sorry, no. Next time they walk in, what do you just say? What do you want to do? You want to scream at them? Say,
oh my
get
God,
out!
no, yeah, no,
Get
get out! You get out! Get out!
Get out!
No, they might get aggressive. They
I know. That'll make it fun.
I don't want to. No, what the? Yeah, you want to fight off some
I'm
dude's
kidding.
cock
I'm
on?
kidding. Oh, hey! Stop it. We're not going there today.
We're talking about the nature of the people. If we're getting aggressive, we're going to be realistic here. Like, hey, you just threw a fit there. To ring the bell. No. If someone walks in here, we'll be like, hiddly tee and hiddly toe. Pass my riddle, and here we will go. That's what we'll do. We'll be bridge trolls. That's what we'll do. We'll be silly talking Dr. Seussical, Dr. Seussical bridge trolls. Heedly tee and heedly toe. Tell me now, where do you go? I need a hit.
To the booths, my lord.
No.
To the booths.
No, you go to jail. Jail. You go to prison. You cannot do that in a booth. Will you? Could you, in that chair over there, in the booth over there? No, you go to jail. This was a rhyme. No, you're going to jail, dude. That's wrong.
I thought we were rhyming. Why are you taking me to jail?
Because you're committing indecent
No,
acts.
it's actually illegal what you're doing, sir.
It's an indecent act. It's
Oh, it's so funny.
that's great.
I'm so glad. Hey, I'm so glad we're going to have church service here.
That's a mistake.
Literally.
That's blasphemy.
No, not really. There's already crosses on the wall. So we're ready to go.
Yeah, you know what?
This place needs some Jesus.
He opened the door. I mean, honestly,
It needs a little Jesus in here.
Yeah. God knows how many sexual acts could happen in a church already.
Besides Opie and Anthony.
Sure, that's what I was talking about.
Remember that one? Sex
Yeah.
for Sam? Oh, it got them fired, though.
Yes, the total. That's what I was.
They got fired for that little game. That wasn't a very fun game, was it, Opie and Anthony?
And I got fired for getting a blowjob in the Oval Office.
Oh.
The autistic fit. The autistic fit you throw over the word
I'm going to get you your own bell. You know what? Here.
you think
I'm
I'll
getting
ring
your
it?
bell.
You think I'm going to ring it? Or ring it at the right time? You think I'm going to use that bell appropriately?
Here!
I like how he said here, and also
Here's
all
your
my.
own bell!
I would.
Get your own bell now!
You sound like you're drunk. You're like, yeah, you got your own bell now. You happy? Are you happy?
You should be happy.
Terrible.
So anything inappropriate, there you go.
Yeah, left
Let's see-
heel
let's
throw,
see
an
how our-
autistic bell fit.
Let's see how our appropriate levels differ. Like I may think something's inappropriate that you don't think is, vice versa.
What is the technical term for horse pussy? Was that bad?
You're supposed to ring the bell for yourself there.
I warned you I wasn't going to use this appropriately. And that's just in reference to, like, I don't know, I want to bet that, like, it's just like, I'm not going to use this appropriately. Grabs the boom box and shoves it into another human being.
Okay, a great way to start the show. Hello, cannabis
I wonder if a
consumer.
hole has ever been made in this place. If all the holes are plugged, make a hole. Suture. Okay, I'm done. So, we've had some laughs so far in the 10 minutes we've been on air. Let's talk about other things, like what's going to be happening at the Girthy Earth event.
The Girthy Earth Day event. The Earthy Girth Day event is going to have speakers. We'll have some online speakers as well because we'll be pulling from our arsenal of great speakers, and we're going to North Carolina to get a grower from North Carolina.
So we got a grower from North Carolina. We got Jim Miller.
We got Jim Miller.
We got myself. We got... Is that guy from Georgia going to be on?
Or was that Georgia? Was I thinking Georgia?
No, but is he... Wait, is that who you meant?
Nathan.
The one who did the hydro growth?
Yeah.
Yeah, I hope he comes on.
That's North Carolina or Georgia? Maybe you're right.
Georgia. That was Georgia.
Okay,
yeah,
never
because the North Carolina, I feel like, is much easier on weed offenses than... my best friend told me to... So she made 2 friends when she moved down to Florida. I won't name their names because their life is already as it is already. But these people are just... There's using weed for medicine, and then there's being, just having an addiction to having head highs and things like that, and that's what they are. And they're very reliant on weed. And what did they decide to do? They moved to Georgia. Stupid. Did Governor Murphy pardon anyone for growing marijuana, or is this... there's a giant... Hold on. Hang on. Marina, I love you. You're a great contributing member of this community.
Wow.
There's a giant bridge between that. That's like saying, like, did they pardon all the traffic offenders, or... I don't know. Is the Oklahoma City bomber now out walking? I don't know. That's a huge bridge right there.
Well, did he pardon convicted killers? Is that what happened?
But I haven't heard of convicted killers being pardoned by Governor Murphy. There has been since. I'm sorry, I was just thrown by that. There has been since cannabis has been recreationally legalized. A lot of cannabis brands and companies have worked to expunge people's records and exonerate them. So that's definitely a similar effort, if not the one you were referring to. But I don't think... Can governors pardon people? I don't think they can. I don't think governors can pardon people.
I believe they can. They can. Like executions, I know they can stop an execution.
That's a stay of execution.
Oh, stay.
That's a stay of execution that ultimately has to be pardoned by, I guess. I don't know. I guess it's complicated, but I can't imagine that. It pardoned for. Funny enough, I would believe pardon for governors like that come less than pardon from a president, especially recently. But, that aside, at least they're all meeting their just end from their cockiness. But, I don't think Governor Murphy did that at all. But other than that, I hope you're well. Marina?
Looks like he granted clemency to 3 murderers.
Clemency, that's what they can do.
And actually 4. One is Paige Pefferly.
What'd she do?
She killed her boyfriend.
And what were the circumstances?
It doesn't say here, but...
I'd like to know that.
Yeah.
If like domestic abuse, that she's... If it's just like, I just felt like killing. I wouldn't agree with that. Just woke up and decided, yep. But no. Lefty's doing the research.
Audubon woman convicted of killing her boyfriend. Her high school boyfriend. She received her no parole sentence for the murder of Matthew Huss, fatally stabbed during a confrontation in the kitchen.
Not hearing.
It's always important to use salt, by the way, in the kitchen. Because I tell you, I wanted to kill a few people when they didn't use salt.
One salt
They
or a
didn't
salt?
use salt. How do you not salt your food? And I was, I can understand. All right, I'm just gonna.
Well, I think the confusion there, Lefty, is that what you were doing was salting your food. What that happened in that kitchen was a salt, not one singular grain of salt. A salt.
Okay, so it was domestic abuse situation.
Called
so
it.
hey, you know what? That's
Yeah, good
yeah,
for Murphy.
yeah.
That one, like.
I agree then because domestic abuse. I had to deal with the domestic abuse. I grew up with domestic
I'll
abuse.
tell you something. We really need to tackle in New Jersey. One other issue I'm very strong about, other than home grow and other things. We need to be able to defend ourselves in New Jersey. Like that woman. If that was the circumstance, that woman shouldn't have done a day in jail. If she was being abused. Oh.
What? What?
Is there something in the internet air today that's like
Oh.
that? Okay, you should tell them to stop doing that. On their bagel, do they put it on their do they put it in their shampoo? Do they? Like, are you driving with them and they just look at you and they're just like, "Hey, the record's 35," and they just slip one in their mouth, like, and then they pass out at the wheel or something? I don't know. I don't understand. That always drew. I know there's a medical benefit to ketamine treatments, but that always blew my mind because I always started seeing that like right after recreational cannabis happened. So it was always a weird jump for me. It's just like, all right, ketamine's legal. Next fight. I mean, marijuana's legal. Next fight, ketamine. What the? No, hold on. It's like it's throwing is like the legalized cocaine ads in Grand Theft Auto 5.
There's that guy Don Ketamine that he might be referencing.
He puts a man on everything. Is that what he's saying?
Ketamine. He puts. He likes ketamine.
Oh, okay. I thought you were. I thought ketamine was his last name.
Makes ketamine videos, so that's what.
That's I think there's I'm gonna leave that one.
I don't give it energy. I had to give out a lot of energy this
For
morning.
every $10,
I'm not giving any.
For every $10 donation I get, I will take one ketamine injection. Oh, it's just to bond the $300. It's just dead.
No.
Don't do ketamine unless you really need to.
No. Why do you need to do ketamine?
I don't know. They have
get it.
treatments for it. I don't know what, like, you gotta wonder, like, where someone, unless it was like through categorical research and the process of elimination, and then they landed on ketamine. Like, that's just like
It's a weird place to land.
Oxycontin.
Yeah, I'm gonna land on Rufinol. Okay.
Powdered Adderall.
Yeah.
Specifically powdered. I had an ex once that blew my mind because I always used to. One day I walked in on her and she was cutting up her pills. I was like, and she literally had to do that because I guess she didn't leave much of an imprint on my memory. I don't remember. She had some weak body issue. That's the best way I could put it. And she couldn't swallow pills or something. I don't know. So the doctor told her to snort her pills, which always blew my mind. Because they even gave her like a pill crusher, which always like it's a very sobering moment at that point when you realize, okay, you hear people say crushing up pills is bad, but if it's for this, here's the pill for a totally different situation.
I had a pill cutter.
Yeah, it was like a
It cut it in half.
This was like more of like a flat surface that you like put between something else. Yeah.
It was helpful during titration when I was getting off the opiates to cut those pills in half. And then cut them in quarters, and then just keep going down and down and down, and eventually I got down to where I was eating a quarter of a pill, and it wasn't. I had to go cold turkey at that point. It was tough, man. 10 months of trying to get off opiates. It took me 10 months. Four times. I failed 3 times.
It's
It's rough, man.
and
And I wasn't abusing it. I was doing what the doctors told me. I was taking their prescription. It's crazy.
I was on a cast earlier with my friend Clean. Shout out to Clean. And his cast. Go check that out. I'll have a link for that on my Instagram at some point. But I was talking to him about the cannabis industry being pushed on by pharmaceuticals and the cotton industry, and I'm one to say that I think all three can exist together. I don't think one needs to be hated out. I don't think we need to completely bash pharmaceuticals, but I do think the practices need to be shined on. But at the end of the day, pharmaceuticals, at least where it stands right now with what we have as far as research and where we've gotten with cannabis, pharmaceuticals can tackle certain scenarios that cannabis can, and at a strength that cannabis can at this point. Cotton makes clothing, and I'd rather smoke weed than wear it, so that's my argument to that. And I'm sure there's better ones, but I didn't articulate it, so there you go. But my point is, I think there's definitely room for all three to exist in the world. Lefty loves poppers. Is this true? Lefty,
You thought ketamine was his last name. No, it was not.
do you love poppers?
Popper? No, I've never done a popper in my life.
I'll tell you something. I have. My best friend and I.
Amyl nitrate?
Yep. So let me tell you something. My best friend, when I first met her, we'd hang out in a room, we'd be smoking, and every now and then, before she actually told me it was a popper, she just introduced this as this thing, and you'd sniff it, and then we'd start laughing. And it was just something we'd sniff every now and then to get us out of a funk or something like that. And revealed it to me, and I figured out what it was. I was like, what is wrong with you?
Smell like chloroform.
You should use that line to pick up women.
That's funny. You ask 10 girls that question, one of them's going to laugh and go home with it.
Hey, baby, did you fall from the sky? Because this smells like chloroform right over her face. And that's how you go to prison. Instant jail time. But yeah. We get all sorts
Yeah, the APP, Bongholio and El Rampador are in the Asbury Park Press today with John A. Light. It's pretty funny. I like that picture. Uh-oh. Do we get to turn someone away? Oh, it's a human. Good. It's a human being.
Rob!
Human being walks in.
It's Rob!
A human being walks into a dab bar.
Or it was a horse. Huh? That's a tripod, you sick-minded monster.
I've never done poppers. I don't even know what they are. I would never have done that.
Well, he's claiming
10 empty ones in
Right. Okay. John's been clean for 16 years now. Thank you, cannabis. See? Cannabis will get you off booze, all that crap. Opiates.
poppers.
And what else?
Your ex-wife.
Wait.
No, so no.
What? I can't hear you.
No. I need to.
Oh, yeah, go. I got it. Go. Lefty has to step aside for a moment, so I'm going to take the reins here. So, I hope everyone's having a good 420 week. I'm excited. I said this, when I started, when we recreational first landed in New Jersey, and after the first year that, every year after that, the 420 celebrations are going to get better and better and better. And, I mean, they are. We got a lot of cool stuff going on this year across dispensaries. Like I said, Amanda, how you doing? Yes, chloroform has a characteristic odor. Thank you for the Wikipedia entry of what chloroform smells like. I appreciate it. And why do you want to kick an altar boy in the jaw? What did he do? Did he steal your wallet? I've had to They're just sneaky. They come up to you. You're sitting in the pew. You're minding your business. You're rooting around in your pockets. You have to shoo them off. They're like turn of the century like Russian or English orphans. You have to shoo them away. Just like, get out of here. Go on. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know where amen to that. I don't think that's an amen there. It's how you what? How did you leave me with this? And this is what I'm getting right now. So, what would that interaction be like? A rabbi circumcising a priest, and you only circumcise babies, right? So, I mean, he's a baby priest. His first baby priest. He had a tiny baby priest, little baby pope, maybe. It's a little baby bishop, little baby nuns, the baby church, little infant church run by babies, and it's just goo goo gaga. God's great and all that. I don't know. I don't know. Where did you want me to go with that? Where did you want me to go with circumcising a priest? You're going to circumcise an adult priest? Is that what you're saying? That sounds wrong. Wrong. That's.
How about we just cut off some of your hair? That could stick onto the wall.
They're about this long.
Lefty's prison wallet is filled with IOUs.
Fucking hippie.
Fuck.
Fucking hippie.
So look at what you left me with.
Hippie.
Look at what you left me
What'd I
with.
leave you with?
Your prison pocket needs to be checked. But I told him it's full of IOUs.
Oh. That's. Ew, wait.
You're all corporate.
Corporate scum, he calls us. And that's for Ronco.
Get out of here. Go back to the homeless shelter.
Get out of here.
Go back to the homeless shelter.
Get out. Go home. That's what we're going to start
He
doing.
doesn't have a home.
Let's just yell at people when they walk in here.
Call them vagrants.
I'm done with people walking in here thinking everything is like, hey guys, what's going on in here? This is not what I'm used to.
I don't want that, but I don't want that though. Oh, howdy doody. Oh, you're in here to buy sex stuff? Well, sorry, you did that. Go over there.
This isn't what I'm not. I'm going home.
This is the most nonsensical cast we've done so far.
This is great.
So yeah, how do you circumcise a priest, Lefty?
Amen to Fort. Amen to Nam. What?
This is your guy here. This is what you left me with. Oh no, that hasn't been said in here. A priest would never step foot in this place.
Oh wait, I didn't get that. How do you circumcise a priest? Is that a question?
No, he's saying it's how you circumcise a priest. I don't know what he said it in reference to.
Hold on. Let's go back here. Oh, we have to go back.
Yeah,
we have to go
there's
back.
a Wikipedia entry
we have to go to
about chloroform.
Season 1, Episode 4.
What?
How do you circumcise a priest? Okay, let's go through here. All right, Amanda
With a wood chipper.
says nothing. I don't know what that was. Kick the altar boy in the kick
Yeah,
the altar boy.
I was telling him.
Ah.
No, sometimes you got it. You're sitting in the pews.
Brother,
That's not disgusting. And then you sexualize that for no reason.
The chloroform.
Yeah, you sit in the pews and you're minding your business, talking to Jesus and whatnot, and then the altar boys come up, they're rooting around in your pockets. You have the Bible go, get out of here, you goddamn piece of shit, get the frick, and you just kick him out of there, and it's acceptable.
Yes, chloroform has the characteristic odor. It's described as a sweet, pungent, or slightly ether-like odor. It is important to note that chloroform is a hazardous substance and should be handled with caution.
I like how they said that as if like they remember what it smells like. It's like, what's chloroform smell like? I remember.
Oh, those
How
memories.
Do you know? I'm immune.
Memories.
I'm immune. Terrifying.
420, that's my house number. And then check. I'm not going to put that up again. That's awful. Ronco is an ordained minister.
You gonna circumcise him?
So,
if circumcisions were ever performed in here, you guys have problems.
3, 4, 4, 7,
Oh.
1.
what the heck?
Can I get her on? It's my friend Amanda. Can I get her on?
Have her call StreamYard. Give her the StreamYard.
Yeah, 1 second. Mute me.
No,
Hold on
I
1
can't.
second.
I can't. This is more fun.
Amanda,
This is more fun.
are you home?
No, I'm in the car.
Okay, I'm going to send you a Streamlabs link. Log into it and well, get onto the cast with us. We can talk to you about Florida cannabis.
I'm about to walk into the dispensary.
Yeah. Good timing.
Everyone, this is my friend Amanda. She's a dumb thought, but very smart. She has a biomedical engineering degree and is a first responder and or of sorts. Say hi, Amanda.
Hello.
There's Jim. Hold on, Jim. I know you have echo now.
But go to the dispensary. If you feel like coming on, text me, and I'll after you're done, and I'll get you on. All right.
All right.
All right. Bye.
Bye.
Cool.
All right.
There he is.
Jamila.
Dab.
Can I do a dab too, please?
Oh no, Jim
What?
Miller. Sorry
Same-
for my tardiness on our way out. Did myself doubly tardy. I doubled
Oh,
down.
don't you know what? Honestly, you're better off not having been here for the first bit of this. It's been
Absolutely nonsensical. Lefty can read you some of the chat.
Yeah, I'm glad you're here.
Well, I'm glad you're here now. Before, I don't think you would have been able to tolerate it.
No, you would have jumped off. That's why we.
Things work out for the best somehow, don't they?
my.
Exactly. So, did Lefty share with you the details for Tuesday? Are you going to be coming or calling in?
For which?
The Earth Day event?
Earth Day.
No, I'm going to be there.
Good.
I can call myself in, I guess. So
Yeah,
I got a phone.
we got a patient panel we're gonna
Yeah.
do.
I got my day's reserved just for that, and any way I can be useful.
The
And I
Homegrown
can
Coalition
tolerate.
is not involved anymore.
Well, there's going to be some members from the Homegrow group, so it's going to be the Coalition for Homegrow, because it is some members from there. Because I don't know what to do. I don't know what to change. Everything was left on me to do all the work, and then it wasn't good enough. So now I'm being thrown under the bus.
And frankly,
So-
the stuff they were making issues from what I heard about was like, okay, if you're going to make issues about wristbands and materialistic nonsense, that shows you're not really trying to do this for the cause.
Yeah, and then throw me under the bus on
Yeah, I
top.
guess I'm going to need to be brought up to date, and this isn't making sense to me right now.
Yeah.
Go ahead, catch them up.
So we got people from the Coalition of Medical Marijuana, which is Michael Brennan. I'm trying to get Ken Wolski to come online on video because I know he has a surgery coming up. So maybe he can take part online. We're doing that with Nathan, and we could do it with Ken. We might be able to do that with Chris as well because Chris is very busy with his mom and his aunt. So we can do people on. We have people online.
No.
Sorry. And what are you smoking on? Oh my!
It says Meteor Melon and Lemon Cherry Gelato. Oh, this is like candy. This stuff.
I have to hit a button.
No, just pull.
It vibrated.
Yep, pull.
That's tasty. It's really tasty.
Very good. Woo! So, Jim, this is a development that you'd appreciate, and I'm waiting for the Mad Hatter to confirm if they're going to sign on to this. So I have Spot 23 up in Newfoundland, Urban Dispensary, Lifted, and Just a Woman signing and backing a letter I will be sending to the New Jersey Attorney General. Again, we're workshopping this a little bit, but this is another crack at all of these groups with this letter have had various issues with their Instagram and social media related to cannabis, whether it be their account being taken down or what have you. So we're crafting up a kind of, contrast letter to between, like advertisements and alcohol, pharmaceuticals and whatnot, and saying, this needs to stop. Like, we need to be able to advertise like any other business would. If this is legal, then like we need to be able to advertise freely. And there's more to it than that, but I'm really high right now. But the bigger point for me is that we've got 4, possibly 5 dispensaries signing on with this now, which I think adds a lot of weight to this.
Well, you're allowed to sell alcohol on TV and radio, and
But it would be one thing if they said, okay, no TV, that's fine. But the fact that if on the internet we can't even show our product, the fact that they're telling us already what facts, true facts about our products we can and can't say. That's
interesting though and I heard that and thought, yeah, right. You can do it alcohol. You can't do it with cigarettes though, which is legal for adults only, and you can't advertise cigarettes. And they don't even really allow you to have clear cigarette packaging of actual real cigarettes that could be considered advertising. So is that because cannabis is smoked? Is it just
no, it's
that they do it for the one, certainly doesn't mean they,
well, it's literally just
Well, what about when it comes down to advertising for medical cannabis things, that should certainly be allowed, because if it's going to be treated the same as medicine, that involves having endless commercials. Only you could have warnings like warning may cause smiling, may cause appetite increase, may cause, all the fun stuff in that disclaimer.
So here's where I actually want your input on this, Jim. Here's where I actually want your input. Here's where I actually want your input on this, because I was thinking about this the other night. I purposely left, not that I don't want and advocate for this, but I purposely left advocating on the medical behalf out. The strategy behind that is that I felt that, being that a lot of the dispensaries have been not pulling back from the medicinal, but not representing it as much as they have just the general business, that appealing to the business aspect of it, which seems to be the state's priority, would carry more weight to them than it personally,
Well, dispensaries.
I want to hear your thoughts on that.
Dispensaries saying, we endorse patients' right to grow their own medicine, goes a long way, because they're the only ones that would be perceived to be losing customers, right? I mean, so what they're saying is, I don't think it's going to affect our bottom line in a way that I would care to bitch about. And I support them being able to do it. Because the same patients we're trying to help, if I can't get prices down to where they can afford them, they should be able to grow it. Then the dispensary.
You're cutting out a little bit, Jim.
It's a salient argument, that they can support this because it's the right thing to do. And sometimes it isn't about how many pennies. And use an example of the state felt it was necessary to phase out the sales tax to the point that for the last year, they took 2% of patients' medicine that couldn't afford it by way of taking 2% of the money they had available, the sales tax part. So they only got 98% of what they could afford. And if it wasn't enough in the first place, that's a day. That's a day more. What in the world did the state need that? Couple the 2% of a purchase. What did it do for the state compared to what it took away from that patient? So these are arguments that can be made best with the support of dispensaries. So anytime you can get a dispensary to publicly support this, man, that's awesome.
Yes. So I'm hoping to get some more. You have to be understanding that people like the MSOs definitely aren't going to want to touch this, because it's
well, they are the problem. I'm sorry. Are you talking about the same MSOs that their product sells for half as much in Pennsylvania as it does in New Jersey? Yeah. We give a shit about them.
Yeah. I will say though that I was talking about this earlier on. I was on another cast earlier, and they asked me if I thought that we were going to get overflooded with dispensaries, and I said, and I don't think we will. I actually have heard recently, I think they're starting or have stopped giving out licenses. The thing we then need to at least be aware of not having overflooded New Jersey is the surrounding, New York micro growers and other businesses that come in and into New Jersey. And again, more product for people is good, but I think that we're seeing a lot of unhealthy competition, and at least competition aspects between dispensaries, which was really one of the goals behind this letter too, was an act that would show that dispensaries can come together and not constantly compete against each other. I've firmly said that the minute we adopt those kind of practices of basic capitalism, like any other brand or product, then we're no better than pharmaceuticals, alcohol, basically at that point. And we need to be better. So, checkmate.
Checkmate. This girl I started following from the 420 Expo in Edison. When I first met Bongholio, she's always on showing all kinds of products and weed.
The first time I met Bongholio was very memorable because it was my first 420 Expo. I had just started working for Timeless, and I remember I had said to when you guys were asking me questions, I had called that Timeless was, in my opinion, the best cart in New Jersey. And yes, the next day they won best THC vape in New Jersey for their Jungle Punch.
Yes. Was that the first year, or was that the second year? Because we saw you 2 years in a row, I think.
No, this was this is the two events. This was the first year. That was the first time we met at the expo, and then I think we saw each other at another event after that.
The next year, the next expo.
No, this was last year was the first time we met.
I think we met before that. I think we met 2 years ago.
No, I just started working in the industry the year before that.
But you were at the expo 2 years ago.
No, that was my first expo.
All right, I have to find the video. I will find video.
It was you. I was sleeping.
That was me.
Yeah, I was sleepwalking. I would hope not. That doesn't sound consensual in here, but okay. But yeah. So
were you just? Is that your bell? You look like you were tapping and it didn't.
Yes,
ring?
he's been having autistic fits whenever anyone says something slightly dirty.
The bell didn't ring. I didn't hear a bell ring. Okay.
You don't hear it?
Yeah, I hear it, but it won't go. If somebody
can't hear the bell, that's no good.
Yeah, it's about as loud as my alarm.
All
right, I'll put a microphone on this bell.
No, that you said it's loud. Why would you do that? Make it louder. A lot of these you're doing are stretches.
No, I didn't mean it that time. I was just testing my bell. I didn't mean it. I didn't mean it.
I didn't mean it. It all just happened so fast. You're so pretty. I like you a lot. Just sit in the corner.
Real quick. Okay, I'll let you deal with that first.
Well, it says here they're making it hard. Yes.
Stop. You don't need to. Just continue reading the statement.
I have a friend that has a grow house. Neptune Gardens is the brand. They just picked up another grow house, Red Bank, that failed. The owner is Chris. Was the very first year for me. I went both years.
That was what is with your speech pattern this past couple of weeks? First you're talking like Captain Kirk. Now you're just like they are making it hard. Yes, you sound like Microsoft Sam.
They are making it hard. Yes, they are making it hard. Yes, they are making it harder to open more.
Well, yeah, I mean, we don't want to be at the same place as Florida, where they're oversaturated with dispensaries down there. And
yeah, that's true.
And I mean, honestly, like I've said this a couple of times now, they're starting to worry me down there because anytime I look for Amanda, the dispensary menus, I'm not seeing the same plethora of brands I would see usually down there, which it was crazy because, even when we were in the beginning stages of our recreational, they had a lot more brands available down there. So to see them now, both that and I'm seeing like the pay rate for bud tenders and like that going very down. It's scary for them. Really need to proofread. Yeah, it's who has time for that? It's better to just say
let it rip.
Yeah.
Yeah, some of the funniest things I've ever written to people weren't proofread because I use voice recognition. My thumbs don't work at the speed of lightning on a phone. So I use voice recognition. And when I'm in a hurry, and I got to proofread, it's horrifying sometimes. Amazing what a couple of words transposed can mean, So proofreading's good.
Lefty needs to get the Wi-Fi boosted in this place. The signal's very low. But he's got to open the. Oh, it's because of this. Oh, exactly, Jim. Fun fact about this place we do the podcast in, and Rob just let us know about this week. The walls are all surrounded. It was either what they were pulling out the other week or this cage that's around right now, but it's all copper.
Oh.
So that suppresses signals and Wi-Fi and things like that.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Neither did I.
Huh.
But what did that do, what you just did?
I moved the.
I plugged it.
So if y'all want to know what I had to do,
I just wanted to.
I took the Wi-Fi extender that they have over here, and I moved it from over in this corner to this corner of the building.
Was the copper what they pulled out the other week that was blocking everything?
And that too.
Yeah, they were. There's so much copper in the friggin' walls here.
We were in a, what is that called? The magnetic tube or something. We were in a tube.
We were in a skiff.
Yeah, we were probably giving ourselves all kinds of diseases.
I don't know about that, but I think we were in a better place to have a conversation about a Yemen strike than they were.
The stuff my cousin gets in Vegas, I'm so jealous.
See a speech therapist. And yeah, Vegas hasn't even had their. Jim, how long has Vegas had their cannabis for?
Jim? Oh, Jim.
Jim, you're muted.
Yeah, I know. I also got to get my my volume on louder, and I have to do that on the computer. What was the question?
Well, how long Vegas had their weed for?
How long? Oh,
like over a decade now.
Oh yeah, certainly, yeah.
Yeah, but it's like
they had the largest dispensary, I think, for a while in Vegas. I heard a lot about it from somebody who went there. It just said it was like incredible, and that was a decade ago. So yeah.
I want to go to Vegas. I really do. It seems like it'd be a hell of a time.
I've been once. It was one of the better times in my life, better than a cruise, but in the same vein of doing something and it was 3 days of during the National League, during the NFL's championship playoff weekend. So the sports betting was a lot of fun. But the freedom of Vegas, when I went, didn't include cannabis. And the most fun was just hanging out on the walkway over the road, the screened-in walkway. We were at the MGM Grand. I don't know if that was directly there. We went to where the walkway was. And as soon as we were there, we knew we'd meet a Fast Eddie. It's like everything but that part. Like, hey, do you want? And the guy's like, did you want? It's like a couple of things, like women or something.
All right.
And brother Kevin's like, we want weed. We want pot. That's all we want. Can you get it or not? And he goes, well, he could, but it's like 2 a.m. And we'd been having some drinks because we had everything to smoke. And he said, no, but at 9 o'clock in the morning, he'd be back and he'd take care of it. And it was fun. So we had one evening without pot, and we drank to make up for it, woke up with a hangover, found him, and he said he could get a $60, I forget whatever, but he had to give the guy money first. He said, look, down there, the street, there's that van, and that's where I'm going to be. And here, you can keep my backpack if you want, like collateral or something like that. And I started laughing. I go, dude, we're in Vegas, $60. You know that if we don't do this and we walk back in there into a casino, we're going to be missing $160 and still have no weed. Go get it, So he did. And it turned out to be some of the best I'd had in a long time after not having some and being in Vegas. And it opened up the doors to the most surreal experience. I mean, it was just like everything. And, it involved, we had to take a cab somewhere, and we're in front of the cab line. They go up to the cab and say, hey, listen, we're going to be smoking some pot. Good or no? No, sorry. Okay. Hey, listen, next. And then we wait. and nobody would let us, and nobody knew what we were doing. And then somebody, I think, overheard because other people were wondering, and I guess the next person in turns back, oh, they're looking for somebody where they can smoke weed. And the whole fucking line thought it was hilarious, you know? I know this shit follows me wherever I go. I don't know what it is.
I think the one of the more memorable cannabis purchases I ever made when I was traveling was when I was in Key West, and I was looking. Yeah, I was kind of just either looking online or looking through people in the area for weed because we're not at the point yet where I had someone with carts or was willing to risk flying with the flower or anything like that. And sure as fate does, this guy spotted me and asked if I was looking for weed. I said yes, and this is my first time in Key West, so I wasn't really familiar with the area. So he said, "Okay, follow me." So I go with him. We walk from the shop. I'm seeing like chickens and roosters and shit, and just all sorts of lizards. Key West is beautiful though, but I think that was just more because Key West is probably like the more out of there, like very similar to like Vegas as far as like how free and out of the standard from the rest of America.
Key West has a distinction. I love Key West too. I mean, for a lot of reasons, but one, nobody gives a fuck. It's probably at the end of one of the longest dead end roads anywhere. I mean, you just keep going south on A1A. Eventually, you can turn on Marathon this way or that, and eventually nowhere. And then you're at the southernmost point. There's nowhere else to go. So some people went west. Some people went west. Some people went south. And the people that emigrated, I'm going south where it's warm, they went there and didn't come back. So it's much like it's like its own entity of sorts. I mean, it doesn't follow the patterns of anybody nearby it because it's a whole conglomeration of people that fit in there. Yeah, I love it. There's a campground right outside of Key West I've stayed at a couple of times. It was just like really nice. There's no campgrounds in Key West.
Oh, the show is.
You have to pay me.
Yeah, it's $2.
Well, then get out. Yeah, just what do you? Come on, I'm not a free spectator here. I don't just watch anyone. All right.
You usually charge me.
Yeah, again, it's money. It's about power. It's not about love.
Yeah.
Have you ever been to Massachusetts, Jim?
What's that?
You ever been to Massachusetts for dispensary?
Oh, yeah, sure. Yeah. No,
Okay.
not dispensary, no.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
It's such an achievable cannabis trip that you can do on a dime. 3-hour drive out to Massachusetts.
Yeah.
Get an Airbnb out. This was what I did the first year of COVID after I came back from staying in Florida. But it's like you get an Airbnb out in the mountains. You're guaranteed every night if you're up high enough to see a shooting star. Pretty much, it's incredible. You got all these trails, small area, and the dispensaries there just rock. I mean, this was years ago when I went, so I'd love to see it now. But definitely another a underrated cannabis location within America. I feel.
I'd like to. Yeah, I don't get out of state like I used to, but I went up to the. They do a big thing there once a year. What's it called? It's done in Boston, I guess, on the Commons or whatever. Big what is it we do? Event? I don't know what you call a cannabis event. And it's been going on yearly for quite a while. That was interesting. But then, what I remember most about that was went to an after party. It was $30 to get in, and
Right.
it had edibles, display of edibles, and it was like pastries and cream puffs and candy and all the kind of edibles. And it was $30 to go in. They had really loud music. Kathy and I were we were kind of like old people there compared to others. And she didn't feel like really fitting in. And I loved it because I tried to say, no, it's like Japan. Old people are cool, you know, they get respect, you know, hang with me. And she wasn't going to be having a good time. And I understand that. So it was going to be to get a cab and back to the motel. But first, it's $30 to get in each.
Right.
So I'm going to have some edibles. Now they had little, what do you call, like eclairs, and I love them. So I real slow did the back and forth on a smorgasbord looking thing, but I was popping them in and chewing them the whole time. And I looked around for a really long time and ate a real lot, real quick because it was awesome. And we got in the cab, and then about 5 minutes in, I was higher than I'd been maybe in a couple of years. and I was just beginning. So it was like having so much fun being higher than ever and not mentioning it. Just trying to be like straight
faced.
Well, you know what I mean? Yeah. If I said, hey, as high as I've ever been, I just had a whole lot to eat, and I'm probably not even a quarter of the way there, I was thrilled. I'm going back to a motel. I can do whatever, you know. Oh my God. It was
the best highs like that are the ones that like the weather's like this or a little bit better, and you get out of like wherever you were smoking and you still got the whole night ahead of you, and you know you're not ready. You're not even close to being like saying, okay, I'm done for the night.
Yeah, that was, I don't really get to do that a lot anymore, but you know, when I do, you know, a lot of, because it involves like driving afterwards. And thing is, Lefty should remember in Berlin at the UFCW 360 headquarters with the ashtrays where we could smoke pot, and there's a dab bar, and I went to the dab bar and was having dabs, and then I heard somebody go, "Oh man!" and I turned to see he's looking at me because I'm just like dabbing away. But again, I'm the old guy, you know, and I got about as high as I could to where it almost didn't seem to make a difference. And then I turned around thinking, this is so cool. I couldn't feel safer anywhere than, oh, there's Lefty sitting by himself at the podcast. Oh, fuck. I'm supposed to sit down now, huh? Yeah. So I came over and sat there, and it was like live, and I had no idea. But, you know, I'm a trooper. I wasn't going to like let him sit there by himself. And as I remember, I was doing pretty admirably good. I was kind of happy. Actually, things started clicking, you know. But you know how it is. I didn't look at the replay. I could have looked at it and went, oh, fuck, that's embarrassing. I don't know for sure.
See,
but I'm sorry. It was with purpose, though. Who doesn't wonder how long it takes? I mean, it says in the law, if you're a patient and you're driving somewhere, you pull over, take the keys out of the ignition, turn it off, you know, put them wherever, and then you take your medicine, and then when you feel that you're good to drive again is when you drive again. So I thought, okay, how long will it take till I say, I'm good with driving? Because right then, no way. A shiny thing could have ended my life. Hey, what's up? You know? Yeah. So I don't trust myself to that point. I mean, I know enough to know I don't know enough. And but I was curious because I wondered how quick it would be. And I think it was 45 minutes when I decided, yeah, I'm good. I could do it right now. But then it took another 15 minutes to say the goodbyes to everybody and leave. So for sure, an hour later, I was not only good to drive, I was more, my whole job was driving, and I was having fun, not nervous. It was like, how good a driver are you, Jimmy? Oh, look at this shit. You're awesome. You know, look at that. He's tapping his brakes. I'm riding exactly the right speed, guessing. You know,
it's been so long since I've had the thought of like I've smoked too much or I'm too high to do this or that. Like I definitely recreation happened.
No, dab bar will do that though. No.
Well, yeah, and there's definitely certain buds out there would probably do that for me. I just feel like I noticed that especially now that it's more, you could kind of, or definitely choose your direction more with it. I've at least gotten a little more reasonable with how I approach cannabis. Not to say, not imply it's just the fact of just being so high that you feel like you can't do certain things. I was what was it? It was like I think like one of the like first 2 years of COVID, or like 2023, or no, it's like 23 or 2 or something. I was out in Red Bank with my friend Andrew, and we were at this one cigar lounge, hookah lounge kind of place that did open mic night, and they sold cannabis out the back. I didn't buy any because it was recreational, so I just got it myself. My friend Andrew got some in the back, and then he like approached me a half hour later from going to the bathroom and say, "You need to walk me to my car. I'm too high." And I just looked at him for a minute, like I thought I hadn't dealt with that since high school, and I definitely feel like it polarized me from buying on the street. That then happened more, but still, like I don't deal with I just haven't felt like debilitated to that degree with weed, and I feel
how bad would it have been otherwise if he turned and walked to his car and fell face down and went, "I don't think I can walk to my car." He at least he didn't risk that, and I say, you know what, that's definitely err on the side of caution, if you can call it erring. I'll tell you something. I don't know if it's happened to Lefty yet. He's getting older. And it's more legal now, so it doesn't matter. But it happened to me 2 or 3 times in my life. I'll give you an example. Springsteen concert. Take my 16-year-old brother there. That means I was 34. So he knows I smoke. We don't talk about it. He's 16. I drive him. They gave me a ticket, so they had a ride to the Meadowlands. When I picked up a friend in Nutley somewhere else, and that's why I'm not smoking pot. I'm in the parking lot. Everybody's playing Springsteen. It's a big party outside. It's still light out. It's got grills going, and a guy goes walking by. It's got some joints and says something like, somebody needs a couple of sticks. I got them, or something like that. And he was, but he wasn't looking. He was just sort of saying it and he walked like maybe 12 feet away, and then he walked about another 12 feet, and Kevin went, "Go ahead." Boom! And I went out and I was thrilled. He goes, "No, man, I don't know what you're talking about." "What?" "I don't have a Springsteen shirt on. I'm the driver's, but yeah." And I was so fucking bummed until we took our seats. They got me the aisle seat. I like the aisle seat. 16-year-old, 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 empty seat, more people. I see a joint, 4 people in, getting past our way. I get up. I physically put them in my seat, over. And I plopped down in that seat and turned right then. And they fucking laughed and handed me the joint. And I took one. It came back one more time. I took another big one. I cannot tell you what a difference that now I was at a concert. And it wasn't, you're addicted. No, it was like 2 tokes. It was it was the coolest thing ever. And I've always had a policy when I go to a concert, back in when, I'd make an aluminum foil pipe. I know, not the best way to smoke. And I'd put some in. And what I would do is during the encore, everybody gets up. I get up. I go, I'm too old for this shit. And I sit down and I take one big one and blow it down. Now I know people are going to smell it soon. So I take another really big one and I blow it up, where if they got the lights on, all of a sudden you see a big cloud of smoke above me, And then I take the pipe and I throw it under somebody else's seat, and I'm just sitting there with a big cloud of smoke above me, And what was really fun is at this particular concert, I guess got tickets as a present. We have okay seats, but where you walk up the seats or where you walk down, when we got there, it's like, Miller, my best friend from high school, with his wife who didn't smoke pot. And I was like, Jimmy, like type thing. And after years, said hi, hadn't seen him in like 20 years. And I explained my pipe thing. I said, so check it out. And I turned back and he was laughing and she was laughing. And then there's 3 police sitting in front of us because you could tell, you could hear what they were saying. And one guy had a shaved head in the middle, guy in front of me, and then a guy on the other side of him there. And the guy in front of me said, hey, I smell weed, like he was ready to jump into action. And the guy who was in charge of them there, the ranking guy in front of over here said, nah, it's just the pyrotechnics. I felt like slapping his head and going, nah, he's right. It's pot. I mean, it was just, but it was actually so much fun when it was a little bit illegal. And I always wondered, okay, does that kind of fun stuff?
I'm glad you said that. I had that thought the other day because I was thinking about like the amount of times I like coming into using cannabis and I'd either be in my car or like hiding somewhere aside from a hobby shop or, you know, somewhere with my little box of or container of nugs and just putting it in the one hitter. And there was definitely a certain special feeling to that. And I think, and not that there isn't, you know, a great feeling of smoking weed now, but there's definitely a special feeling to just the surrounding circumstances of it and knowing that, you know, you were in your little hidey hole of, you know, what was illegal and what was not illegal.
Well, you know, some of the best highs I've had have been because of those circumstances. And the real quickest example is renting a house, Kathy and her daughter, and, you know, there's a place I could smoke out back. It was like an outdoor back porch, a laundry room or something. And that's where I could, you know, limit it and not in the house. But go to the beach and in the morning, and I'd get some of it's down Ocean City. It had some really good donuts on it. I'd get them. But then I found I could sit down way low on the thing on their front porch, and people walking by really with the bushes, they wouldn't get a good look at me. Nobody would get a good look at me. Man, they'd be at the beach in over 3 hours. I'd smoke endlessly and have 2 or 3 beers that time of day. And I was in my own private little front porch. There was guys working, doing carpentry shit to steps next door. They were sweating. I wasn't. Oh, man. It was just like the stupidest little things. I remember them, you know.
It's crazy because where was that Springsteen show you said?
Meadowlands.
Where else?
Well, yeah, exactly right.
3 shows at the Meadowland this weekend.
It's crazy because
see the boss.
I grew up in Fairhaven, where, you know, near where his Rumson house was.
You'll buy the whole seat, but you'll only need the edge.
Was that really one of the things he said? Was that a monster? Steal from a monster truck?
No, I like that one. You know, it's like the Hawkers at Seaside in the old days. We don't get mad when you win them. You don't get mad when you lose them.
Yeah, that kind of energy. But it's always weird thinking back on that because, especially coming into, you know, my adult years and, you know, coming to full awareness of who next door. Cool.
No donation jar yet?
No, but yeah, stop.
Yeah.
But what was it? Especially coming into my adult years and seeing him around, I never was. I can't with you today. You're you and what's his name on the chat with the priests and everything.
Whoa, what?
You read that? You saw that? You read it yourself? Don't play like what? What is this? I'm unaware of any of this vulgar nonsense.
Get out! Get out!
Go get your nonsense.
Get out!
Get out of here!
Get out!
Money for you.
Oh, it's Rob.
Oh yeah, it's Rob. Sorry, Rob. No, but especially coming into my adult years and, you know, coming to a more awareness of, you know, who he was and his background and everything. Anytime I'd see him, I would say hello to him. I'd talk to him, but I would never, you know, I never knew how to just approach him and say like, hey, Bruce. Like, it was always just like, you know, hey, or, you know, he noticed me and we'd talk and stuff like that. I remember one time I was working at AMC in Eatontown and he walked in and came to the counter to buy some tickets. And I asked him, I was like, are you just here to see, I think, what was it they were saying? Noah's Ark. Yeah, that terrible make of that movie. But I asked him, he's like, "You're just here to see this alone?" He's like, "No, I'm here with my wife." And he's like, "I was like, oh, where's your wife?" The minute I say that, I hear her.
Is that Julianne or Patty?
Patty,
Yeah. Because you're a younger man, it wouldn't have been Julianne. What am I
exactly.
thinking?
Yeah.
Old man logic here. Yeah.
No, that's what. Yeah, but no. The minute that left my mouth, I hear her from these were the Coke machines, the freestyles with all the buttons, very easy to use, and she's flipping out. How do you get ice out of this thing?
Can't compete with that.
Oh,
You know, a friend of mine, or actually a friend of my younger brothers, big Springsteen fans, and this would have been like maybe 1990, 88, maybe something like that. Anyway, they went Christmas caroling and walked up to the door. Julianne answered the door. And then they started caroling. And then she turns and smiles, and Bruce comes walking up, and they just stood there while they finished the Christmas carol. And the guy who was telling me about it was saying, "How do you finish singing?" And Bruce Springsteen's looking at you, smiling, like 6-7 feet away, and you're singing to him. It's almost impossible, you know. I thought, that's why I like people just giving that shit a try. Better to beg for forgiveness than to ask for permission. You know, that shit works like that sometimes. No need to beg for forgiveness. But if you ask for permission and somebody said it's not a good idea and you didn't do it, never would have happened. You know. He's an approachable guy. I've always liked that about him, and he's a good storyteller too. He really is.
He did a Halloween gathering every year. He used to at his Rumson house, and I never realized how crazy this was until I got older. There was one year, this guy, you'd walk onto his property, you go past all the decorations, and you'd see this Frankenstein on a tree, and you think it's a decoration, and you brush it off, and then you're walking, and then he just comes out and just oh my God, it was terrifying. No, I would hope no one's doing that in here, dressing like Frankenstein.
We run that, comes out and goes, blah! Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah. Sorry. Let's play a game. How many priests are gay?
Oh.
Thank you. And this question is sponsored by High Grass Premium, Bicket Pre-Roll, Indica Leaning, total cannabinoids 38%, total terpenes 2.13%.
I remember we that event you guys had. What was it? What was that woman's name? I forget.
High Grass Premium.
Anyway,
tell your friends.
It's Bicket, and she handed me a pre-roll of that, and I looked at it, the word, and I looked at Lefty, and I said, "I don't care what anyone thinks. I don't care how this sounds. You're Bicket." Because it sounds like a bad word. It sounds like a bad word that you should.
What?
Available
Available
at Mad Hatter.
at Mad Hatter, you jackasses. Oh, available at Mad Hatter.
I'm not fucking employed jackass yet. So all right, let's calm down with all of that until I'm employed. Then you can call me a jackass all you want.
This cannabis from High Grass is available at Mad Hatter.
You jackasses.
You jackasses. Come to Mad Hatter, you jackasses, and get your High Grass Premium. Yay.
I don't think they're going to use that as a promo. I don't think they're going to use that as a promo.
You asked for live reads. It's a live read.
Yeah, that's
you
it.
Jackasses.
You could sell it as jackass grass now, you know. High quality jackass grass.
I'm surprised they haven't gotten more into the cannabis industry, the jackass guys. Hi, I'm Steve-O, and I'm going to jump off this building after smoking this whole pre-roll. Gently used pre-roll.
Gently used.
Yeah, that's Steve-O. I'll give you a gently used pre-roll if you jump off that building. And
this is a brand new pre-roll from High Grass.
You know, it'd be interesting, and I think it's doable, to do a serious version of, and I've heard about this for years and used it a lot myself. Yeah, if you walked into a area where there's one table over here, everybody's smoking pot, and while everybody's drinking, and you just sat down for a while, you wouldn't go over to the drinking table. You know, I mean, in other words, all things being equal, just by your demeanor, not, you know, by anything else. So why doesn't somebody actually do that with a little format that you know would create even a bigger difference? Like, you know, I'd love to see the difference, you know, of the same tasks and same discussion going on with two people doing opposite things. I myself, I'll be honest, I like a couple beers now and then. What's that couple? I mean a couple. It could be a couple of 20-ounce beers maybe instead of 12s. You know, which would be 12.
It's just a couple.
But that's the limit, and I'm 195 pounds. So, like, you know, I've done the math. That's not. It never goes more than that. But what I like to do on Sundays is, with the brothers, is any point you ask yourself, do I feel the alcohol more or the smoke more? And you try to even that out, you know. And it's kind of fun because there is a middle. But I've discovered one thing for sure: you can override alcohol to a degree with a good toke. But then there comes a point where you have to smoke quite a bit, and yet the combined effect is still tolerable. Because then we sit down and have dinner. It's what I do every Sunday for like.
And then neither are getting you
decades, you know.
And then you have to get involved.
It's I have found the happy medium of I eat the food grade edible bomb that I would make cookies out of. I'm tired of making cookies. I just take a big fingerful, you know. And
you get fingerfuls with it.
Yeah, well, you know, it's like I don't have it here right now. I was going to just have some more. I had some just a little while before coming on. And but then a couple of tokes really elevates it, and it gets me to where either one by itself doesn't, you know.
Right.
Because people that really like getting high, it's like, I like getting high on edibles. I don't get the same kind of high. I don't get that high. They don't affect me like that, whatever.
But people that say that, I always find, especially like through my bud tending, is that they're looking for a head high.
Yeah.
They're looking for, whoa.
Yeah, exactly. They want to get
edibles
stupid, yeah.
with acid.
I want functional high.
Yes.
I mean, I'm not saying I wouldn't cross the line. I'm just saying that's what my goal. And I find that there is a degree, way less smoke, which isn't good for my old 55 pot years I've got on my lungs.
No.
Yeah, I'd like to cut it down a little, but I don't want to miss any of the fun because I guess I never had kids. I never had to be an example. I've always been able to say, yeah, I want to enjoy shit, you know, and have fun and get a buzz. And I still do. But it's so much better for me taking a couple of good lights of something after getting a buzz. I went out yesterday to paint the inside of the fence by the bird sanctuary olive green. It would look better, you know. I wanted to try it out. I had some balm, and I spent the next 3 hours and 45 minutes being not just the best painter, just everything I could do was like I was in my own little world, and I got shit done. When is that a bad thing, you know? So I find anytime I have some responsibility, chores, being the guy that takes care of things at the house, you know, I do better. I do better with edible than smoke, because smoking it, I do get to the point where I don't feel like it, or I'm more easily distracted
or deterred.
Yeah, but it's just sort of like all of a sudden I'm in. Well, if I paint it this way with the brush, and how do I do the tops of the back of these V tips? And with the, you know, I'm totally where I'm supposed to be. And I find that also works if I have to do something that I'd rather not do at the computer, having to do with medical cannabis, usually like dealing with it's time to write 2 more letters back for constituents. I got to do that like tonight.
Right.
Yeah, I'm going to have balm to do that because I get into it, and it's all I want to do. And I have the headphones on with some binaural sounds, I think it's called, that basically is an alpha beat behind it for concentration. And it's just low, you know, musical sort of sounds that drown out all other stuff. But it's the balm that does it. It's the same stuff that, so now I recognize all by itself, here it comes. I'm going to go drive to Toms River. Oh, yeah. I have some balm now. I got 5 minutes to get out of the house, or I'll get sidetracked. I get out, and all of a sudden I'm like, yeah, man, I'm not in a hurry now. That's it. That's all it is. It's not high.
Yep.
But then it's about 17, 18 minutes later where I get to the part of the drive where it's a very convenient, nice road. Take a couple puffs, you know?
Right.
And I do. And then it adds it, and it gets me to no static. It's just, and I don't have a radio in my car, and I don't fix it because the silence and feeling like that when I got to drive across state, I work shit out in my head, man. I come to conclusions all by myself. I don't talk out loud.
You have conversations in your own head with yourself. You can get
No,
to it.
actually, that's why I added the out loud. In other words, yeah, I can. When I hear words a little bit, I have audio memory. I will not remember somebody's name that I meet unless I say it at least once. You know, good to meet you, Vernon. Hey, Vernon, that's the name I'm not going to forget. You forget Jim, I'll remember your name. Boom, I remember his name forever now. You know, so it's sort of like I have audio memory, but I don't have memories of thoughts the same because it's the audio that kicks in the memory. Otherwise, it's just part of that carnival of thought.
The sound. It's
You
the
know,
way.
yeah. Oh, yeah, because right alongside that thought might have been something nowhere near that subject, and that's what I recall. Other static. When I say it, I remember it. You know, and or I hear somebody else say it. We're just working on the water, the lagoon or water, so sound travels down the lagoon. And working on one house, and you can hear people working, maybe 10 houses away. You know, there wasn't a lot of noise. And I heard a guy say something like, yeah, they get 38 and 5/8 inches. That was the actual, I still remember it. 38 and 5/8. And then it was quiet for a while, and the guy said, what was that measurement? And I went, 38 and 5/8. And they heard it. There was a silence, and everybody laughed uproariously. Probably looked at the guy that needed the measurement, and he was nodding his head. It was, you know. See, it was the vocal memory, you know, and
that works.
Yeah, and of course, I'm the guy that when I went for my mental wellness thing the last time, about the first month of the year, okay, I'm going to ask you 3 words, and let's remember 3 words, and then 5-10 minutes later, I'm just going to ask you to repeat them. Of course, they talk with you then. You'll, you know. So what I do is I create a visual, which operates much like the audio, but it's got to be a real visual. And the 3 words were chair, sunrise, and banana. And what I pictured was, okay, a chair, like, and then sunrise, okay, a chair on the beach at sunrise.
Combine them together.
Yeah, and no, and then banana. And so I was thinking of Snoop Dogg, you know, sitting in a chair with a girl next to him that got him excited. Basically, he looked like he had a banana in his pocket. Hey, Wes, are you happy to see me? Is that a banana in your pocket, or are you happy to see me? So I thought of that. Or no, the sunrise excited him so much. That's what nobody knew it, but he loved sunrises, and it got him excited. So I thought of that, and of course I remembered it. Now, that was 1.5 years ago. I go about a half year, same thing. She goes, okay, sunrise, and I went chair, banana, and she looked like it didn't compute. There's a doctor.
Chair,
banana. They get used to trying to compute shit. She really didn't understand. How would I know that? She didn't think maybe it's. I didn't think they'd have the same words. And as soon as she said that, I remembered it. And I didn't tell her, you know, because I couldn't tell her about how excited Snoop got at sunrise, you know.
It's just Snoop Dogg.
I thought it's a woman doctor. If I had a guy doctor, maybe, you know. So what happened is I said, listen, I'm sorry. That's the words that you asked me last time. You want to try again? And she went, no need.
I'm uncomfortable.
Like, no, you were. I didn't know. She didn't know about how I knew it. She just knew that she said one word, and I remembered all 3 words from last year. And I didn't have any notes or anything. I just flashed that out at her and followed it with, "You want to try again?"
Yeah.
You know, yeah, that was a good moment.
That was the first time I've ever gotten a whiff of cockiness from one of my patients. That's weird.
Yeah. Well, but she still doesn't understand. She was my doctor retired or something like that, and I had to find a new doctor, and she covered. So I just thought, I'll just keep going here then. And then she asked me at the first visit, why me? I go, well, you're not a good doctor? I don't know. I seem to remember I liked your approach. Comfortable. You don't want to be my doctor? And she's laughing. And all of a sudden we developed a rapport that, apparently guys don't like to have a woman doctor. And
yeah, that's understandable, especially in this day and age. They
feel. Well, I don't know how anybody's going to take it. I'd somehow feel more at ease with her because she's a woman. And I mean, I don't know, maybe she had to work harder to become a doctor. Remember Dr. Quinn, medicine woman, at one time that was a whole,
Dr. Melfi. No, Dr. Melfi.
On that note, I will say though, for me, it's better for me to have a female doctor because the 2000s homophobia, it didn't stick with me, but it had an effect on me with stupid shit where I'm just like, no, I'm not going to talk to a male doctor about that's weird. That's a little bit gay.
Yeah,
it's not, but that's the thing that sticks in my head from that era. Is just that kind of vibe of just that kind of reasoning for everything.
Segue into the next question here, Marina. I'm letting this question hang, but it says, "Let's play a game."
Letting it hang. Come on, phrase it different. Letting it hang.
You're
just have it hanging, gay priest.
I wasn't gonna ring that bell until you said that.
How many priests are gay?
All of them.
Are they acting on their gayness, or are they just? Are you talking about deacons too? Female clergy?
There's a bar in Florida. It's called Deacons.
I'll tell you, if I had to answer that, and I don't feel if I have to, but I would say my honest answer would be no further away than 50% more or less than in the non-gay population. In other words, I think it might be less than other people would think. I would have, my guess would be, well, the same as in the heterosexual community population, whatever. I don't know that it would be that different. But I would have nothing to base it on. It's a good question in a way. I mean, if it's not a joke question, and I don't. Well,
do you know the answer, Marina? Do you have that answer? Is there a number to this?
We can figure out if we can figure out if they're lying because
and I said if it's not a joke question, but listen, I'll laugh at a joke inappropriately. I can't help myself.
But no, if they're lying, we can figure it out because you can measure the corpus callosum of a brain and figure if you lead more heterosexual or homosexual. They say.
Well, what do you think within the red-white community? Do you think Republicans and Democrats smoke cannabis to the relatively same proportion?
Yes.
I do too. I just wonder. And that's not a talking either way discuss, but it's a legitimate wonder, and I think that is true.
Here you go.
I think that gives us hope, though.
He had to research this.
Yeah.
Estimates ranging from 30 to 40%, even as high as 50% or more. One source claims that 80% of priests at the Vatican are gay, although not necessarily sexually active. In the United States, one survey found that 15% of priests identified as homosexual, while other places place the number closer to 50%. Furthermore, a small number of openly gay priests exist, with some estimates suggesting around 10 or fewer openly gay priests in the U.S.
So the takeaway from all of that, from what Lefty just read there, and I hope you all agree with me, is that Lefty needs speech therapy.
Well, I think he showed me that there's just about nothing you can't ask into your handheld know-it-all machine that will not get an answer.
Sometimes that's very chat.
And yet, how often does it happen that you'll have a discussion that'll last even 10 seconds with, no, I think that was 1985. No, couldn't have been 1985. No, sure it was 19. And you could look it up that quick,
He's about to. He's going to
Well,
ask
I
AI.
can't. Well, maybe I can. Hold
You
on.
can.
I don't have
go on your
chat.
phone. Go on your phone. Go to ChatGPT.com and ask it. Just ask it. Ask ChatGPT why all the priests are so gay. I don't know what the question was.
Well,
AI will have the answer.
oh, yeah. That's when I ask my handheld know-it-all machine, it always comes back an AI guess because I guess it can do it faster,
Well, and I always say that there's definitely a lot of good to AI. It's not something you should solely base your beliefs and everything on. It could be a good shell work, a good jumping off point, a good basic reference information.
Well, what it does for me, I've often, how do you do this or whatever, and if you ask it, people would answer. One person would say one thing, another, how to do something or whatever, and I would still understand. I could get direction from that. So if AI just gives you the best guess, and has a 64% chance of being true in this case, still, that's a good direction. But you're right. You can't base anything on it. You can't.
You want to talk about direction. The missed opportunity, I just realized, in Ask Jeeves for not resurging for AI. Ask Jeeves would have been the perfect AI instrument of just like, oh, I have an AI butler.
Yeah, whatever happened to him?
He asked himself why he's still here, and then he couldn't get an answer, so he left.
In the United States, estimates suggest that approximately 30 to 40% of Catholic priests in the U.S. may be gay. Other sources indicate higher figures, with one supporting up to 75%. The Vatican, a 2019 book by French sociologist Frédéric Martel, claims that 80% of Vatican priests are gay, though not necessarily sexually active.
Well, that means we have no idea. And they just proved it. All three of them. The three people who took it upon themselves to be educated enough to give an answer, all gave answers so different that none of them count.
It's important to note these figures are estimates and may vary depending on the methodology and sources. The actual number could be higher or lower. And the church's stance on homosexuality adds complexity to the issue.
All right. Take a dartboard. There's 20 places other than the court you can get it. Each one of them, make it like 5%. I could throw a dart and get an answer that's better than all of them. It's guesswork. So it doesn't mean anything. And when somebody says a source and they don't say what source,
What source? Internet.
Bluetooth to the mixer.
That's not a song. It's just lyrics.
Okay.
It's literal.
When I say I heard somebody say that George Norcross, which one is not the congressman, the brother? Yeah, he's the one that's behind No Home Girl. He's the one that didn't want it to happen. And I say I heard that. Well, what happened is I said it one time, and I heard what I said. Well, the next time I said, I heard somebody say, I was quoting myself because I did hear me say it. I wanted to see if I could start a rumor
about something you said, and then refer to the thing you said as something.
Well, look, he just got indicted for influencing, being a non-elected individual. He is very tight with Steve Sweeney. Steve Sweeney's the one that started the Scutari blockade. It added up. It could have been him for some reason. And it's a rumor. So I know people probably shouldn't try to start rumors. But then again, I think there's no real precedent for if it's a rumor that could help people that are sick and hurt.
People shouldn't start rumors, like rumors about people eating cats and dogs.
Where'd you hear that?
Oh, yeah, I know, right? Where'd you hear that?
I'm glad you got that, because sometimes...
Check your sources. Oh, believe me, I did. Yeah. I asked myself and my common sense.
You tell me, when somebody prefaces something by, I ain't going to lie, does that mean he has to differentiate it from, normally lying at will or what? I mean,
No.
it's really not the best way to phrase it. It's just not.
They
Or
don't.
honestly. Okay,
They
you want my
don't, but
honest? You want my honest answer?
Yeah.
Of course. So why would anybody say that? As opposed to what?
No, no. I want you to tell me a false answer from Dr. Seuss, specifically. Make it fantastical. I want it as a bedtime story. No one. Give me the honest answer, or otherwise, don't give me anything. That's my take on that.
So, Lefty, what time are you starting this time next week? I have it in my mind. It passed my mind, and
well, next week's going to be Tuesday at the Earth Day.
Yeah,
so.
Right. Yeah. So no, that's Earth Day next week, right? Tuesday.
Yeah.
High
Okay.
noon.
Matt, what time are you getting to Mad Hatter?
High noon, and I'll be here early because I want to smoke some more of this high grass. Let's see, where's high grass?
Well, that's what I'm saying. Okay.
High
Let me put it more bluntly. I want to get there early enough where you see how high you can get me before we begin.
Oh, we can do that. We'll all show up early, and
I ain't bringing nothing with me.
We'll start a smoke-a-thon. It'll be great.
We'll smoke some high grass, which is what I'm enjoying right now. How sweet it is!
I'm gonna show up here really early. I'm gonna bring a lawn chair. I'm gonna commit to this. It's gonna be great.
See, that's funny, Lefty, when you say how sweet it is thing. Now, I know you're Jackie Gleason, and I wonder if 1 in 20 people understood that.
No. I recognize the name. I don't know. I wouldn't know the weight of the reference.
How sweet it is.
There are some of those references that are like far beyond or far before when I was born that I do get. And like people.
All right.
Yeah, like that, like Don Knotts. I love Don Knotts, and people always are confused. Oh God.
I mean, which example would you give for?
What was it? Okay, now like the show where he was in that the bus driver's outfit.
Was that the fish called Wanda? I don't know what he was in that.
He was he had a fish movie. He did Andy Griffin.
No, but the Andy Griffin show. That's what it was.
Andy Griffin. He was
yeah,
deputy, I guess, right?
But how I got familiar with him was through the Scooby Doo crossovers they did with him that they'd replay.
Yeah, well,
early.
And then they just put him in Family Guy everywhere now. It's just like, I don't know what's going on. Oh.
Well, I'm the same age as Opie, so I watched them all like kind of when they were new. And so he was fun. I was ordered to stop whistling the Andy from Mayberry theme song by a New Jersey State Trooper when he was helping reroute traffic away from John Bon Jovi's house during Al Gore's visit there.
And you were ordered to stop.
Yeah,
whistling.
well, thing is, he was the guy watching out. They had a guy, it looked like an extra sort of duty cop from Middletown.
Okay.
And he was very tall, taller than Barney Fife, which is what Don Knotts played. But Lefty would be able to picture somebody skinny like him and about 5'11" or something, you know. Now,
Right.
he was stopping cars coming up Nowsink River Road, asking them to either turn around or pull over, turn into the cul-de-sac, which is where you could park and then walk a path back up to his house. Yeah, because it was like not that far, you know, behind. There's a path there. So anyway, he didn't just do that. I don't know if you'll be able to see, but he'd stand there and people either had something to show him that you got for a guest, like a parking thing, and he'd turn you around. He'd go like this to turn. He'd go like this to turn you around, which you do. But when he got somebody to a pass, he'd do this. He'd turn sideways and go like that. You know, almost like a cheerleader thing, you know. And when he did that, you know, and Gary Sage was there and Cheryl was there, and you know how I like to have some fun, and there we were. It was kind of quiet, and a thunderstorm coming in. You could feel it was all happening, and this was the last part of our night, and Gary's ready to go get the car, and he's going to have to walk back to get it. It's going to take a while. But anyway, I go, hey, Ange, I see the I do him my Ange. She'd call Andy Ange, you know, and I do my Don Knotts impression. I'm not going to my Barney Fife impression, and I say something like that, and I go,
Stop.
I can't.
Stop. No.
So I would do that, and then I would punctuate that by doing that. The state trooper comes across the road. He's smiling. He walks over. He goes, "I'm going to have to ask you to stop doing that." I go, "Doing what?" "You know what you're doing." "Whistling." "You know what you're doing." I go, "Is there a law against whistling?" And I'm smiling. He's smiling. You know, he knows that I know that he knows that I know. This is fruitless. We're just having a conversation because we're kind of bored. And he's doing what I'm saying. So this state trooper who seriously had to be at the upper height limit because I was looking up to him. And and he did that. And I said, "Citing what?" And he said, "Interfering with an officer in the discourse of his duties." And that's exactly what he said. I never forgot it.
Ridiculous.
And it's probably exactly a quote. And I wasn't going to denigrate this poor guy doing his job. I don't think he even knew what I was talking about himself. You know, he didn't seem to object. But it was just really weird to think that I was probably the only person ever ordered by a law enforcement officer to stop whistling the Andy from Mayberry show, whatever it was called.
Yes.
Yeah, what are the odds of that shit, right?
And it's devolved. It used to be, you know, they try to mask it up with like, "Oh, you're interfering," blah blah blah. But they do at the boiled down to, and what they have boiled down to saying over the years is, you know, you're disrespecting a police officer. And my favorite thing to get to at that point, when I'm doing nothing wrong and they just have a problem with what I'm doing, and they say you're disrespecting the police officer, "Sir, respect is earned. I don't know you. I know you are an officer, and I will abide by the law and respect that duty, but you have not earned any form of respect. In fact, you are getting into the negatives with respect with how you're speaking to me right now."
The question is, he was in Smokey and the Bandit. That's Jackie Gleason.
That's not a question.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was Jackie Gleason.
He was in Jackie Gleason. That's not a question.
He was in Jackie Gleason.
Yeah, he was awful. Yeah, that was awesome. He was funny in that. Yeah. Well, you know, actually, Chris Christie does his own Jackie Gleason impression. No, the last thing he got, and I got video of it. Joanne took the video when we were where we do the podcast, only on the sidewalk there, and we saw his car stopped, and he went in to do his last State of the State address. His last address as governor.
Yeah.
But I thought we were there because we thought he walked by that way to do it, you know, but he went. You could get in by walking between the buildings because there was a side door right there where there's building. There's a walk-through now, I think, even. But anyway, before I couldn't. I said, "Governor Christie," and I had a sign that said "State of the Union" and some wise ass thing I had, you know. So I showed it. So I showed it to him, and I said, "One more time," because you know we'd been opposite each other as the last time I'll probably see him. And he goes to me, "I love you, baby." And then he goes, "See you later, pal." He called me pal, you know, and Norton called Ralph, Jackie Gleason, pal o' mine all the time, you know. And in retrospect, I missed a big opportunity. I could have said, "Hey, listen, I can't get in. Can I walk with you?" I'll bet he would have let me do it, you know. And he's on his way out anyway. It would have been so cool to get in. And I'll let him stay in the back. I won't cause trouble, you know. So I think I missed an opportunity there, which I do regret. But yeah, it just surprised me, you know, last time.
Chris Christie was the most accurately portrayed in Family Guy when Peter Griffin played him in a role for a movie. That was just the best interpretation of Chris Christie, even Joe knowing the nature of it.
Another Chris Goldstein was over here at our house some years back when he was working with Poe and somebody else, and they did the video. They had all the takes of a video of Chris Christie, and Wayne Barini played Chris Christie, and they had somebody else in a wheelchair, and it was about Chris Christie getting word. And, you know, it was a really, really funny, and it never materialized for some reason. Remind me to ask Chris about that, Lefty, if you think about it, if he's ever here. You know, what the hell happened? Because it was hilarious.
Coming
you know.
this summer.
And Wayne Barini did a damn good Chris Christie impression, too, you know.
The floors will shake.
Oh, come on. Him and Weedman, Chris Christie and Weedman together, you know.
That was a good one.
Will Ferrell and Jonah Hill in Chris Christie, the Christying.
Yeah. Again, I always say I'm not sticking up for him, but he never went in the side door to not walk the cones. I mean, he's walking through cones because there's one lane open, whatever we did. And he would walk them, and we would get funny videos and pictures of him walking through the cones when, you know, is my belief that he absolutely didn't know about those cones till it was too late, you know. And, you know, but that was the fun part. And he never did. So is it possible to feel the way that I do about him for all that he did and yet have some sort of respect for him that he did it but didn't run in the side door? You know, it was after Lefty told him don't be a pussy when he walked by the podcast the first time. When he walked by.
Oh my, I haven't seen this in a while. All right. You asked for it. Hold on, you asked for this.
I didn't ask for anything.
I didn't ask for anything either. Is this going to be one of these times I got to take the headphones off?
This is Jim. This is Chris Christie and the Weed Man getting stoned together.
Oh, there you go.
Remember that one?
Well, that has to do with cannabis. I'm loving it.
Well, it starts off a little rough. All right, hold on. Here we go.
I love that logo.
You know what it is? Girls don't know how to hold they smoke. Crooked letter U973 to go.
It's Thursday night. You know what that means. That's right. My good friend Ed. That's in the joint.
This is green thing I just described.
Fucking man's tapping out. Look, he's eating a burger on it.
You have a lot of.
What is wrong with you?
Hey, Pat, shut up! I'm kidding. Hey, shut up! I'm reading the newspaper. The Clintonian, it's very important. Now be in there when I'm done. That fall in, the ball's not big enough. Damn it. Mary Pat! I need a spoon for my fucking ice cream. Go get me a goddamn spoon. Make yourself useful.
I forgot about the long beginning.
Thank you. Fuck you at the choir school. Weed man, you lied to me.
You out of here?
Yeah. You raised a column about President Huckabee? About President Christie? Christie Greens? Well, President Christie, weed man. I'm the boss. I'm the smart one. I'm in charge. What about me? I thought we were friends, weed man. You son of a bitch, you! I thought we were friends. No! Everyone hates me. God is fucking me. Why me? I need to special people. I'm smart. gotta do to your friend. I'm not an animal. I'm a human being. Sounds good. Give me that. I got no friends.
I thought you were going to show the one where they rode around smoking a joint
Hey,
together.
Pat!
Yeah, that's coming.
I need TP for my bunghole! Now!
This is the beginning.
Hurry!
Well, I hope so. Okay, this is where I thought you were going to show. But
I'm too mean. I have no friends.
it doesn't live up
The
properly,
teachers
though.
hate me. The stoners hate me. Republicans hate me. Democrats hate me. Even Cory Booker hates me. I got no friends.
And this is that Trump packet. That's the governor's
Why
mansion.
does everybody hate me?
That's the mansion.
Yeah.
I know who likes me. I got friends. New Jersey Weed Man.
He's a pretty good actor, actually, acting that part.
Who the fuck this is? Hello?
NJ Weedman. It's your old friend. The Governor Christie.
Who? My old friend? Nah, I don't know. I don't believe this.
For real. It's Governor Christie. Hello? Of course it's me. Come pick me up at my mansion. I got the munchie foods.
For real? I'll come pick you up at the mansion. I'm on my way. I can't believe this. Somebody says that Governor Christie, my old friend, he wants to hang out with me tonight and talk about things. So I'm going to go. I sure hope I'm not getting pranked.
It's a round going.
Where the hell's Weed Man? Thought he'd be here by now. Got us some munchie food, Weed Man.
I got some munchie makers.
Ah.
Come on, go. Let's hang out. We're about ready to have a ball. Governor, why would you go on national TV, do a press conference to tell the world that I'm your good friend after you had me arrested for protesting you outside your office in Newark?
Ed, I told you. I can't sleep. I can't eat. I can't even think straight no more. I didn't know what else to say. Who knew they were going to bring up you in my press conferences?
Well, you know what I say? That sounds like stress to me. You know what I say? Smoke some marijuana, Governor.
Is it medical?
Yeah, it's medical. It's all medical.
You're going to drive me back to my house when I'm done?
Of course I'll drive you back.
You won't tell any of the state troopers if they ask?
I won't tell nobody.
You won't write about it in your column?
No.
Do I have your word?
You got my word. You know, you're not a bad guy after all. But you got to flip the script, man. You got to flip. You got to flip, man. Just publicly. If you want to say your presidential aspirations, you know what you got to do. You got to do a Sanjay Gupta, and you got to flip.
Gonna flip on what, Ed?
On the issue of marijuana, man. Marijuana is one of the greatest therapeutic substances on the planet. You got to do a Sanjay Gupta. Just flip, man. Just flip. Do a George Herbert Bush. Just flip the script and just do it.
But what if they ask if I smoked, Ed?
Say you didn't inhale.
Sure.
Or like your buddy Obama, say that was the purpose.
But I've been dead set against marijuana, Ed. I can't just flip-flop.
Of all the people to smoke your first joint with, you got the weed man. Come on.
Will you come over?
Peer pressure. Peer pressure.
If I like this, Ed,
you're gonna be the coolest president ever.
Will you be my weed man?
I'm the New Jersey weed man.
No, will you be my weed man?
I will even come to the White House.
Because you know I'm not gonna be in Jersey no more.
You'll be in the White House.
I don't know anyone in Washington.
Obama has Snoop Dogg. You can have weed man.
I put people in jail for weed.
I've been in jail for weed, and I'm still telling you, flip flop. It's time to do that good old Republican flip flop.
Only because I consider my friend.
Your friend.
After all these years of you chasing me down, after all those joints you sent in my mailbox.
Yeah, whatever happened to those joints that I mailed?
I gave them to security.
Security? So somebody on your staff, the security staff, smokes weed?
No, not at all.
They destroyed it?
No, we had it tested. Made sure your fingerprints were on it.
Come on, go. Just like a stogie, you know. I know you and Rush Limbaugh smoke those big stogies, so
acting.
Go for it.
I mean, they're as good as the daytime flip-off
actors. I can't breathe, Ed.
You'll be all right. Just relax. Relax. Some people get paranoid the first time they smoke it. You might be a little paranoid. Don't worry about it. By next week, you'll be okay. Munchie maker, munchie food.
Munchie maker, munchie food.
Wax on.
I had about 10 million donuts. This is the best jelly donut ever. Look at all the sugar on it. Look at all the jelly in it. I love you.
You feeling good, man?
Yeah. Let's go to McDonald's next. Yeah, man. Let's go.
Yo, let's go visit Mary Pat Angelini.
I'm staying with my friend, Ed. She don't like booze. She don't like this shit.
That was some good ab living there. He had Wayne actually went, "Oh!"
All right, my old friend. Catch you later. What do you say? Have you flipped?
I like this marijuana.
Feeling good?
Yeah.
What do you say?
I think I'm going to vote for legalization.
Legalize it? I changed you?
Legalize it.
Hashtag legalize New Jersey.
Thank you, Ed.
Peace.
Motherfucker. Can't play me for a sucker, motherfucker. I came from the bottom, motherfucker. Can a damn thing touch us? Cause my man bring ruckus. Motherfucker. We don't want love, motherfuckers. We don't want hugs, motherfucker. Selling drugs, motherfucker. We some thugs, motherfucker. Motherfucker. Can't play me for a sucker, motherfucker.
I gotta tell you, you segment that and maybe have the shortest of the most polite part of the bathroom scene, elongated beginning. I don't know. But seriously, the whole rest of the middle is really funny now, seeing it years later, where things have softened up everywhere. And the question is still Governor Christie, former Governor Christie. How do you feel about it now? Have you changed your mind at all? See, that's what that was all about. And yet, that was some pretty easy improvisation type acting skills. You know, I was surprised. I haven't seen that since, I guess, when it was made.
Hey, I want to thank Mad Hatter for having us and this wonderful brand here that we just smoked, the High Grass Premium. You can get that at Mad Hatter Dispensary, 845 Route 1, Avenel. Ask for High Grass Premium because you deserve it. You deserve the best. I'm going to work on it.
You're telling me that's the best then? Okay. I look forward to trying some of that. Week from today, you make sure you have some of that so I can try some. I'm very anxious to.
I said you deserve the best.
Yeah,
that was my statement. I said you deserve the best.
Yeah. Well, I have no doubt, but that doesn't mean I want you to prove it to me.
I'll prove it to you.
You know, I'm out for myself like that.
I'm gonna dab you out and smoke you out with one of these dandies right here. High Grass Premium.
We'll see.
Bicket pre-roll. Bicket. Ask for Bicket. Indica leaning Bicket.
Yeah.
That's right, Bicket.
Oh, the things I do, to help. I'm at your service next week, and I realize you can probably make me look like a fool by doing all that and then having me be on a live podcast as well. Normally, I wouldn't do that. But next week, I'm going to make an exception.
Next week is for Earth Day, so come on out to Mad Hatter for Earth Day on Tuesday. We're going to have a food truck here, tacos. We'll have a massage therapist. We'll have glass blowing. We're working on getting RC cars, and we're going to have a demonstration online from where's Nathan from? Is it Georgia or North Carolina? Maybe it is Georgia.
I don't know.
Might be
I think
Georgia.
I was going to guess North Carolina. He is awesome.
Yeah, so he'll be on talking about home grow, and he has a lot to offer when it talks about home grow.
He does. Yeah.
Amazing stuff there. So. Yeah, tune in next week. We'll have it live as well for a couple of our speakers that can't make it, like Nathan. Nathan's not going to drive up here, so we'll have him online.
Yeah. Well, I'll take up somebody's time. I'm scheduled to have something to say.
Yes.
And it's going to be important too. I'm just not going to show up to take up some time, try to say something cool. I got purpose in being there. I mean, fun, hell yeah. But, we got some stuff to explore at that time too.
So thank you, Mad Hatter. Thank you for having us here at this beautiful place next door to Mad Hatter. It's the Tea House Club, Tea House Coalition, Tea House Collective. I don't know, something with THC. Tea House C something. So there we go. Tea House Club I like. Tea House Coalition. CMMNJ, the Coalition for Medical Marijuana New Jersey.
Oh, yeah.
Big fans. UFCW, Local 152, Arlo Glass, OprahMachine.com, and SativaCross.org. SativaCross.org, you can donate $1 or $100 to help our nonprofit. And fighting for grow.
And may I say that sometimes the smallest donations, while they don't buy you as much, they mean as much or more because, somebody would probably like to give more than $5. The best wedding present I ever gave somebody was $2 because that's all the money I had after flying from Florida here to when I was in Florida to be at the wedding. So small donations, it's the best way to support what Steve Gross is doing.
Our list begins with Cheryl Miller. Continues with Sabina Rose, 15-month-old baby.
All the people these people did not live to see the end of the rainbow here.
No, they did not see.
The pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. There you go.
Or the gold pot.
Yeah. In the pot of gold.
The gold pot in the pot of gold.
Yeah, they didn't live that long. And they all played a part. And some gave all,
Yeah. Yeah, a lot of the people on this list are people that took part for the better good of of cannabis patients. You know what? So probably, wow.
Yeah.
Probably 3/4 of this list is people that took part.
Yeah.
I'm just looking down the list, and I'm like, you know what? It's a pretty significant number of people that really cared to do something about the plight that they were in. They were suffering, but they took part to ease others' suffering because they know what it's like to suffer.
Yeah. Yep.
And I get it because I suffer every day. You don't hear me crying about it, but I'm suffering every day, and I'm getting a lot of crap done.
I'll tell you what else you don't hear a lot about is people talk about how many people that use it for medicine, how many people are patients, and there's no mention of the families, friends that love them. For every one patient that's being affected, there's 5 people who might not be patients being even more adversely affected than the person who's handling it. I've seen it happen, and I've been part of that group, and I'm here to tell you it's the unseen pain is in the family members.
Diane, Gracie, Cindy May. These are children.
Yeah.
Marie, Jack, Joe, Randy, Polly, Bill, Chad, Jeremy, Colette, Matt, Troy, Russ, Roger, Jay, Ella, Hattie, Jackie, Anthony, Jake, Armando, Felicia, Lynn, Dan, Sean, Joyce, Lori, Frank, Brian, Flo, Carl, Thorne, Frank, Lorraine, Terry, Charlotte, Cher, Jay Bird, Michael, Marley, Colette, Brendan, Red, Rico, Lou, Becky, Lawanda, Chip, Paul, Lisa, Marcus, Gary, Julia, and Jeff Oakes. Jeff Oakes' daughter just reached out. She said that there's issues going on in Sparta, New Jersey.
Like what? What kind?
Well, in Sparta, they have a sign, a billboard from Councilman Mark Scott that says, "Say no to pot stores in Sparta Township." And then Councilman Mark Scott says, "I don't want Sparta to look like Patterson or Newark." Councilman Mark Scott has made it clear that he doesn't want certain people coming into Sparta and turning it into Newark or Patterson. That's a quote. He claims that the legalization of cannabis will open the floodgates for strangers in hoodies to invade Sparta and destroy the town.
Tone deaf. You couldn't be more tone deaf than to put out a statement like that.
Wow.
Yeah, we hear you loud and clear, dog.
We hear you loud and clear. Why don't you just say darkies?
Dog whistle. It says it without saying it.
Yeah, you don't have to say the word or the N word. Why don't you say the N word, Councilman Scott? You want to say the N word, idiot.
Yeah, total. Oh man,
what an idiot! I don't want Sparta to look like Patterson or Newark, he says.
And by the way, I know what the reference is to, but it didn't say, he didn't bother to say parts of Newark or parts of Patterson to make some sort of point, whatever point. It encompassed, is Newark the largest city in the state? Is it not?
Probably Newark.
Yeah. So, you know, they are representational of a lot of what is New Jersey. You know, holy crap.
So he's talking about black and brown people. That's what he's saying. This is racism in New Jersey.
You know, yeah, I don't wear a hoodie, but I am deeply offended as being from New Jersey, and that fucker's representing people from New Jersey by saying that, so he might think.
Yeah,
maybe you wear in particular. Yeah.
Talking about hoodies, maybe you wear a hood, buddy. One of those white hoods with pointy top. Maybe that's your hoodie.
Yeah, the original hoodie.
What an idiot.
Seriously.
So now we got to go to Sparta. We're going to Sparta, apparently. And we're going to start this shit with this councilman. Oh my goodness,
Holy
Councilman
crap!
Mark Scott. His name is Councilman Mark Scott, and we're going to go up there and I think El Rampador is going to go up there and freak him out.
Yeah, so like, wow, is this because of the overt racism, or is it because of cannabis?
Remember Sparta about 12 years ago, 13 years
yeah.
ago?
Well, yeah, went up to Scott's trial there.
Amazing.
Yeah.
So
But Stephen Kuslich took advantage of the law as best he could in that dank courtroom, which had hospital church pews for seat. And, it's like, okay, zero ventilation, no windows or anything. and this was back actually in the beginning. There was some pretty odoriferous, brand new, it's legal to have now, medical marijuana. And he just took that glass container, opened it, set it down right next to him, and the place instantly stunk of really fresh. And he's loud. And everybody knew the bail. I don't know if there was even a discussion, but everybody knew, you know what? We're not going to bite, And Stephen, man, he hit the nail on the head. That was some good activism there. They lose either way. They don't do anything about it. Pussies. Yeah, they do something about it. Well, now you're just troublemakers, That was awesome. So anyway, Sparta, huh? Oh, man. Oh, by the way, I watched the thing in Sayreville. Was it last night? Was it yesterday you did that or the day before? I just saw it yesterday. Mikey, 22 minutes worth of I'm not going to tell you my name.
Yeah.
Well, when was that? I mean, I saw it last night.
Oh, that was back in November, maybe?
I was that long ago? I didn't know that.
A while ago.
Oh, I thought, well, it doesn't matter. It was even more amazing that it was then. Yeah, okay.
There's the billboard.
Huh.
Ain't that cute?
Well, how do you say no? Do you vote? I mean, is there a vote coming up or something?
There's a council meeting coming up. I'm going to go to the next council meeting.
But I mean, who is that billboard at? The general public, general Spartans,
Yeah, for the Spartans.
I mean, no. I mean, who's it directed at? In other words, is there a vote that they get to take part in? The people who are reading the billboard?
No. It's just Councilman Scott has also decided to buy a billboard,
cost the township money.
That's calling for the continued prohibition of cannabis in Sparta.
What do you think that costs?
I wonder if he paid for it. We'll have to do all this. We need to Oprah request all this stuff going on here.
Yeah, well, that shouldn't be too hard to find out who paid for it and all. But nonetheless, it doesn't seem to serve a point. What's the end game? To poison people against this somehow, to keep it from happening if they ever do get a vote about it? They don't have a vote, is my point. If you wanted to talk to council people, talk to them. You want to hijack that, go ahead. But so what I'm saying is you've been going to council meetings largely because of First Amendment rights and accessibility issues. Which is your lead spear in this multi-pronged choice you have? Is it because of the overt racism with the hoodie remarked? And we know that it is. Or is it because to poison everybody against cannabis, which would really do the community good in multiple ways?
This kind of rhetoric and stigma hurts patients, and I'm sick of it.
Yeah.
All right. Well, Jim, we're out of here.
Okay.
Enjoy your dinner. I'm going to have my dinner and talk to you Thursday.
Yeah.
And come to Mad Hatter on Tuesday.
Yeah, I'll be there.
Thursday. It's going to be a fun celebration. There'll be a dab bar. There'll be a food truck. It's going to be fun. So come on out.
Oh, and I'll be there gathering signatures.
Hashtag they shall grow.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to be gathering signatures for my petition. I have a petition, and I'm going to be having QR codes there, and you can't even stop me, Lefty, because I'm going to do it anyway. I'm going to ask for your permission afterwards. Yeah, I think it's going to be I've been looking forward to this, and there's no way to have a bad time that I can see, and the fact that I can address patient home-grow issues at a time when they've finally got traction after 4 years. it's good timing.
And it's going to be a nice day, 70 degrees, sunny on Tuesday. So definitely, come out Tuesday. We're having fun Tuesday.
Yeah. Is there any bad weather a day before or after? I worry about those 7-day forecasts, but
I think Friday it's going to rain.
Yeah, it's nowhere near Tuesday. Good enough for me.
That's it.
Okay.
All right.
We're out of here then.
They shall grow not old as we that are left grow old. Age shall not weary them, nor the years condemn. At the going down of the sun in the morning, we will remember them. Thank you, everybody. See ya.